Hi, this is Michelle from Jasami Publishing, and it's our very first podcast for Jasami Bookworm Podcast for 2023. I'm very excited. We've got lots of new wonderful projects and new people who will be joining us for interviews. And the first one coming today is Perla and Raquel, two interns who are working with us, have joined us recently and are going far in the company, I'm delighted to say. So welcome, Perla.
Hi, thanks.
Welcome, Raquel.
Thank you. Hi.
So as you notice, this is the first time we're going to have a chat with two other people. So I'll probably be introducing them one at a time so we know who we're chatting with. So first, let me ask Raquel, your short journey to Jasami. How did you find us?
Well, I find you through Ailey, actually, Ailey Beaton, because I know her because we did musical theater together at uni. And I saw later that she had started working with Jasami, and I was like, oh, what's Jasami? So I messaged her and I asked, what it was like, if she thought it was worth my while. And, she had really positive things to say. And so that's when I emailed you, and then we started everything going on.
And that's fantastic because word of mouth. And for those of you, I'm sure you know, who our program producer for Jasami Bookworm Podcast is Ailey Beaton, the one and the same person. So that's fantastic. I love to hear about that. Now, Perla, what was your short journey to Jasami?
I actually have a bit of a different background from some of the interns, I think, because I studied architecture and I recently finished the master's in the Glasgow School of Art. But I always loved design and graphics and obviously books. So I wanted to try this out, and I researched a little bit, and I saw Jasami looking for volunteer interns. So I felt like trying out something that I thought I would really enjoy. And so, yeah.
They're all varied paths and coming to us. That's why I always like to hear how someone finds us, because you never know, what little seeds will grow in front of us and lead us to Jasami, which I'm delighted to have both of you with us. So now I'm sure everybody's noticed they have lovely accents. Perla, where are you from?
I'm from a small region in the north of Spain called Asturias.
And what's the weather like, and what is the environment like there?
It's actually different from the rest of Spain. It's quite green, and we have a lot of mountains. It's right next to the coast, and it's quite rainy. So it wasn't so much of a change in weather from here to Asturias, but it's really nice. It's a beautiful place. I recommend people to go and visit.
It's on my list now. And Raquel, where are you from?
Well, I'm also from Spain, but from a different area. I'm from the Canary Islands, and specifically Gran Canaria.
Excellent. So so the weather there is quite warmer then.
Yeah, it's quite nice. And people joke that we don't have seasons just because the weather stays quite mild and warm throughout the year. Obviously, there is difference in temperature between summer and winter, but we have tons of tourists throughout the whole year, and it's usually sunny and nice.
And so this must have been a shock coming to Glasgow.
Yes. I am always wearing like 5 layers of clothes, and I think the central heating is my best friend.
It was a bigger adjustment for Raquel than for me,
yes.
For sure.
I miss the sun.
I do sometimes too. And we've been very fortunate the last few days. The sun has been out. So I try to go out and take a photograph of it and say, see, we actually do have sun in Glasgow. So now you both happen to be working on the same project in different areas, which I'm delighted to announce. It's Freedom Matthews, and it is the working title is Scarlett And there's a little bit addition to that, but you're just going to have to wait and listen to it that's going to release when we have the cover release soon. So that book is coming out in 2024, and it might sound like, oh my gosh, this is so early to begin a process, but we have lots of wonderful things that are going on with this. So, Perla, please tell our audience what you're working on.
So I will be working on the illustrations and the cover. And so far, we were in the beginning stages, so we've been like making a list of the possible illustrations that from our favorite scenes from the book and what we kind of imagine. I say we because Raquel and I work a lot together, so we are always like sharing ideas and so yeah, that's where we began, and we have different ideas. So maybe like a map so the readers can see where like all the areas in the story, and further along we'll start thinking of like maybe the cover and other additions.
So for this, now you've mentioned that your degree is in architecture. However, I've seen some of your artwork, Perla, and it's wonderful. I just love it. The colors that you've used and how they express it. So when you read the story and had ideas come to mind, what drew you into saying, "Oh, this might be a better part to illustrate than anything else"?
First of all, thank you for the illustration. And I don't know, I just, whilst I was reading, there were some scenes that personally I really loved, and I was imagining them so vividly, and I thought it would look so great illustrated. So we started kind of like that way, just the scenes that we thought would look really nice and were our favorites. So.
And I should say at this part is the premise of the story. It's a kingdom set long ago, and they've been overtaken by not necessarily a warlord, but a king, obviously, who's a tyrant and a dictator, and how it's affected the kingdom. We won't talk about all of the details because obviously we want everybody to get the book to read it, but it's the journey that the characters take through it that actually is the interesting part of the story. So it's the ability to see that. Now, Raquel, when it comes to editing, you've done the initial read through, and we still have to begin the editing process with Freedom. But when you read the book, what is it that you first think of, when you're doing a critique, and then for editing, what draws you to the book? What makes it good for you?
Well, I think my job is basically to bring to life what the author has inside their head. So when I look at the book, I look for potential. One of the things I first asked Freedom when I met her is what was for her the ethos of the book, or what made her write that book, what was the most important thing for her. And so when I read the book, I look for that. I look for the currents in behind the book and what drives it forward. And I try to do the utmost to bring those to light. I look at things like, character arcs, whether things make sense, whether they don't, but especially those are, logistical things that can be looked at later on. The first thing that you look at is what drives the story, what is the truth of the story, let's say, and what you can do to shine a light on it.
Absolutely. Very well said. Very well said. Do you have a favorite character in the story?
I think I do. But it might be too soon to let readers know.
There's so many, the characteristics, the personalities of the character. You can be drawn to someone that's even bad. I can think of someone in there that I particularly don't like. But the way Freedom has written about that character has brought her to life. And even though she's very negative, you dislike her, which is,
yeah, because that's what makes a good character. You can have like a very bad person who's still a very good character, very interesting character. It doesn't matter if you like or dislike them. The important things that they incite some emotion in you. So if you love to hate them, then that's a job well done.
Absolutely. Now, I know this is kind of a tough question because as an editor, there's the reader hat and the editor hat. Is there any time where your reader hat really likes something and your editor is saying, no, that needs to be, I would suggest a change in that area? Or do you kind of always agree with both characters in your head?
No, yeah, sometimes there's some conflict because I might really like a scene, but then my editor's side is like, but does the scene make sense here? Or, does something else need to happen before the scene happens? Or is the scene even absolutely necessary to the story that we're telling? Because sometimes you write some lovely scenes that are not absolutely key to the plot, and say if the book is already long enough, then perhaps it's not necessary and you use it as an extra or something like that. So there's certainly times when the two things kind of clash a little bit. And you need to let the editor side choose with the head sometimes.
Kind of rule, especially, and that's, a key part to being an editor is recognizing that a scene might be absolutely beautiful, well crafted, well written, thoroughly enjoyable, but is not appropriate to that part of the book or in the book.
Exactly.
And that is the difficulty in being an editor is relaying that information to the author in a way, because obviously as writers, everything we've written, we love. We don't want our baby torn apart. Actually, I think of it as taking the baby from, along the ways rather than ripping it apart. It's just giving it growing pains where it grows and develops. And it's the growing pains that gets it to turn it into, a beautiful creation, like a duckling to a swan, which an editor's job does. And then the illustrator and cover designer has the creative part of bringing that to life in a way that someone can imagine it. So now you're working together. I actually, this was just, I'm setting up more teams. As people in the podcast will know, we have lovely interns who join us who, without them, Jasami would not be able to publish the books we do. And a key part is to look for the creativity in everyone and then working on teams. So we fortunately put this team together and it works so cohesively. I couldn't have planned it better if I had planned it. What is it that you enjoy, Raquel, working with Perla and Freedom, on the team part? What is it that you enjoy most about that?
Honestly, it's just the brainstorming of ideas and the creativity, the ideas that we bounce off each other, because everyone is really excited about the project and everyone has things that they want to contribute. So it's, Perla maybe tells me an idea and then perhaps I build up on it and we tell Freedom and Freedom says, oh yes, go for it. I love to hear about this. So it's all the positive feedback that you get, bouncing ideas off each other and creating things together. It's honestly the most exciting thing about the whole project is getting to work together like this.
Yes, I think it's the same for me, like the sharing of ideas and developing them, and also working with Freedom. She's really excited about the project as well. So it's really nice to work in this environment that like the creativity really flows, and we've been getting so many good ideas just because of talking about it, and just they come up, and it's really exciting.
And you yourself always you don't put limits on what we want to do. So that's really encouraging as well, because maybe I have an idea and I think, oh, that's too wild, they're not going to go for it, but then you say, yes, go for it. So that's really encouraging, and it makes us think of even more things to do. So that's really cool.
Thank you, Raquel. I think brainstorming and actually, the sharing of ideas, because, and they often say this, one person, can achieve a lot, but as a team, you can achieve so much more, because ideas, when you bounce them off each other, and it will help you think of something you wouldn't have thought of before, such as creativity and dialogue. You know, when you actually converse with someone, you come up with language that you wouldn't if you were just talking to yourself or the characters in your head. And when characters do have different personalities, it is easier with that. But when you do have the brainstorming sessions and then be able to chat, and it does help. And you guys are so excited about the project. So we're going to do a little teaser here, and then just a little drop of a teaser, because we're not going to tell everything because we want everybody to come back and listen more. You guys came up with a wonderful idea. Who would like to chat about it? Perla or Raquel? It was both of you.
You can start.
Yeah, we want to do a book trailer, which is gonna have one of the songs in the book as the backgrounds, and then some of my illustrations. We're still thinking about the details about it, but yeah, we're gonna hopefully be able to and make the song that the Freedom wrote into like an actual, like, with music, and hopefully it'll be really interesting and it'll get people really wanting to buy the book.
Yeah, the idea came to us because music is such an important part of the book, and music features several times, and it's a part to the core of the book. It's part of an avenue for togetherness and for rebellion. So it lies very close to the central themes of the book. So as we were reading it, it was almost like, you know, we could hear the music in our heads when we read lyrics. And so we wanted to bring that part of the book to life. And that's what the trailer is all about.
Yeah, we're hoping that it will be the essence, it will capture the essence of the book in a short trailer.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. I know it's the creativity that I'm surrounded by excites me a lot. You know, when I hear about different ideas. And Raquel, there might be someone singing the song in it. Is there an idea of anybody that you're going to volunteer?
Yeah, well, I initially did think, oh, it would be lovely if the author herself would like to sing. I did tell Freedom. She was like, oh, no. So we have decided that I'm going to be singing it. Hopefully the world will not be too disappointed.
So we're great.
They will not. I've heard your voice. They absolutely will not. As I've told everyone before, I've mastered 2 keys, off and flat. So we know that can't go down that road. It's wonderful to be, as I said, to be surrounded by talented and creative people. And I'm very excited to hear the snippets before anybody else. So with this project that you're working on, it's going to go on for a little while longer. How has it been working with an author? I know it's in editing, you've probably done it before, Raquel. But Perla, how is it for you, since this is a little bit different?
Yeah, this is quite new for me, but the experience so far, it's been great because Freedom is so lovely and so enthusiastic, and it's really a pleasure to work with her, because all the ideas we've told her so far, she's really liked them and said that, yeah, go on, and she seems so excited, so like genuinely excited for what we say. So it's been really nice.
Yeah, she offers help with everything as well. See if we need a reference for how the map looks or the castle looks. We ask her and she's immediately like, oh yes, I will look this up and give it to you. So she's really helpful, and we're very lucky to have her and to have such easy access to her as well.
Yes, I think the teamwork is very, very key, and that's what we're promoting. We always have, but this year more so, in that creating the teamwork so everybody knows and can help and support and have that going forward. With internships, the program, like everything else, it's a learning process. And that's why we always have feedback from the interns. I would love to absolutely hire everyone that comes in, but we would grow, and then there wouldn't be any possibilities for anyone new to come in, which we have to have new every year. So it's been a wonderful learning experience for me in growing and learning from all of the interns who have joined us. I think that kind of wraps it up. Now, what advice would you give, first you, Raquel, and then you, Perla, about if you're studying in a certain area and people are thinking, oh, I'm editing, should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? How should I proceed? How do I go about it? What are the steps I should take? What advice would you give to new editors, Raquel?
Well, firstly, to get to Jusami.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, because one of the things that you said to me at first was that you would give me a project that I'm interested in. And obviously that makes the work so much easier. It's intimidating at first. This is only like the second book I've edited, so it's not like I know a lot more than anyone else. But it always helps to just take it one step at a time. I always read through the story without, pressuring myself into looking at all the edits that I might have to make. And then you read it for a second time. And even without intending to, ideas start popping into your head. So you start writing those down, see if the story flows, and it'll go from there naturally. So even if you're scared, still do it because it's really fun.
Excellent. Thank you. Perla, what advice would you give to not just architectural graduates, but to creative graduates? Because obviously, you've got a creative talent, to artistic graduates.
Yeah, for me, well, I started doing something quite different to what I've been studying in the past. So I was a bit, like Raquel said, it's a bit intimidating at first to change so much what you're doing. But I think just the advice I would give anyone is just to get out there, to maybe make a nice portfolio and send it about, you never know, just try. Just don't be scared of like failure or anything. Something will come up eventually if it's meant to be, and just try it out if you want to. Because it was a change for me, but it was something that I'm really interested in, and I don't want to be like wondering, oh, I should have tried this, or I would just say go ahead.
So I think what you've both said is that be open to the possibilities in the future. And
Absolutely.
If you have an opportunity, even though it's not right in the niche, to open up to that, because once you open up your world, then there's lots of possibilities open to it. So now I get to put you on the spot because I didn't mention this before. This is where we start to say our goodbyes, but before then we do shout outs to, can be friend, family. It's a shout out to someone out there, or someone's, whoever it is, kind of thing. So, Raquel, can we do your shout out first, and then we'll do pop.
All right. So my shout out, it has to be my parents because they're really supportive. They'll be hearing this and crying probably. Yeah, no, they're very supportive, and they always get so happy whenever I get to do something. They get so excited for me. So a shout out to them.
Awesome. I think that's great. And Perla.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say the same to my parents, and they really support me in everything that I want to do, and it means a lot. And I really appreciate all their support and love in everything that I've always wanted to do. So yeah.
Excellent. I think that's so fantastic. I've always said, when anybody joins the Jasami family, I say we work as a team, but then it's a family because I can't help, because Jasami is my baby. So we have the family. And I think family is so important, because it's got the ethos and the values. Of course, it's a business, But that doesn't mean that the work can't be enjoyed and the work can't develop you and encourage you and help you grow as a person as it's helped me grow. So I think that's great. So my shout out is going to be, I'm going to embarrass all the new interns that are joining us, that we're having a meeting next week. You'll get to meet Perla and Raquel. So to our new interns, the shout out is welcome to the Dasami family. I hope that you will have a great experience as you guys are enjoying right now, even though it's work. I don't think, when they say, I've always believed in that they say when you do what you love, you'll never work another day in your life. And that is very true. Very, very true. So with that being said, I thank you both, Perla and Raquel, for joining me. This is Michelle at Dasami Bookworm Podcast, back to our normally scheduled Friday deliveries to you. We've got some great ones coming up, as today's was, and interesting. We've got a return from Judith Bowers. We've also got Shannon, who is in charge of our social media area, making sure that we function there. So we've got lots of great and interesting people joining us for our chat soon. So I say thank you very much for listening to us. And as always, I wish you a sunny day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.